Thank you guys, and welcome back to another episode of Prosteshetia Please. And today we have two amazing individuals who are coming to discuss with us the LGBTQ community. So today, huge shout out to the LGBTQ community and letting you guys know that we are there for you. So first and foremost, I want to introduce to you none other than Miss Antonia and Mr. Darnell. And Darnell actually is the owner of Forks and Flavors. If you are here in the Kennesaw area, please make sure you come out and support this Black business, okay? So first and foremost, LGBTQ. Can one of you just let us know exactly what that means for those of you who don't know? For the individuals who don't know.
So it's just, the alphabet is the lesbian, gay, bi, trans, and queer.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And so for both of you, so Miss Antonia, what do you identify as?
So I am trans.
Okay.
I'm newly trans. I've only been transitioning for about a year, a little bit over.
And you look amazing.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Come on, buddy.
It's coming. Give me a couple more months.
All right, I see you now. And Darnell?
I identify as gay.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I identify as gay.
Okay, and you are happily married, correct?
Yes, I'm happily married.
Yes. Come on.
So my husband I don't really know how to explain that part, but next week makes 13 years.
Oh my goodness.
You know, there's been a marriage and divorce. We got remarried, but overall it's been 13 years next
That's
week,
amazing.
actually on the 16th.
I love it. Love is love. And I'm so glad to see that. And I'm so proud of y'all.
Yeah,
you just have no idea. I really am. So we're going to get into a little sinister shit right now. First and foremost, one of the things that I really despise is, as a Black woman, I'm very supportive of individuals who are part of your community. But I want to know from a cis woman, that's what they call us, right? Cis, heterosexual, whatever, what your experience has been as a individual who is trans and as an individual who is gay. And I mean talking from childhood on up. When did you know? What was the transition? Your support system. So first and foremost, I'm going to start with you, Miss Antonia. When did you know, first of all, that you were attracted to men? Is that correct?
Yes, I am attracted to men. Unfortunately, I didn't really discover it. I was molested growing up as a child, but I've always thought that I was a girl. When I looked at myself in the mirror, I didn't really understand those thoughts because I only thought it was just a boy that was different because everybody told me I was a boy. But when I looked in the mirror, I didn't see what everybody else saw.
Okay.
And it took me 36 years to realize that what I saw was a trans person. And I didn't understand what gender dysphoria is or any of those things that kind of controlled my mindset to not understand what I was looking at.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, for those of you who don't know what gender dysphoria is, we're going to put the definition right here.
So gender dysphoria is when you look at yourself and you see something completely different from what your brain actually processes it.
Okay.
As. So like myself, I look in the mirror and before I began transitioning, I just kind of saw like a woman with no body, no breasts, no hips, no hair, no anything. So the way that I dealt with it was I tried to force myself to be extra masculine because I was going against me being trans because I didn't think I was trans.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Oh, okay. So, like, when you had your aha moment, did you decide, okay, I'm about to go get
I just woke up out of the blue. I didn't make no plans.
And decided to get
everybody
the razzle-dazzle?
still believes that I'm lying, but yeah, it was against God to me. It was against everything that I was raised to believe. And I prayed for something else, something completely different, an issue that I was dealing with. And I woke up and what on my heart was to just be me.
Okay.
Truthfully, live out loud, be who I was regardless of who liked it or who didn't. And that meant I had to become myself.
That's right.
Antonia. And most people look at me and say, oh, I just didn't believe you were trans. It's because I'm just myself. I never had to change anything. I was still trans, regardless of whether I accepted it or people accepted that for me, I was still trans.
Okay.
Yeah.
I understand. Okay. Well, let me just interject for a minute because I did some research. I did a little research, because I want to be educated on it because I never want to offend anybody in whatever element that they decide they want to live in, right?
Yeah.
So one of the things that I did come across, so one of the things that I hear all the time is people say, this thing is new. It's trans people, this whole new thing about gays, it's very new. It's actually very ancient.
Yeah.
Very.
So anybody who is anybody, and you guys can go look this up. If you look in the Bible, I don't know if you guys have researched this at all, but if you look in the Bible, it speaks of people called eunuchs. Yeah. Now, eunuchs were actually attendants to like the king's harems. So basically they were, the it girls for the wives of the kings. Right. They helped them get dressed and X, Y, and Z. So in the story of Esther, it speaks of one of her eunuchs. But what eunuchs were back then were modern day transgender. So eunuchs were really men who were castrated or asexuals. And asexuals are individuals who aren't attracted to men nor women. So they were safe around the king. The king had to make sure you weren't finna be fucking out. You know what I'm saying? So, and a lot of times, not a lot of times, but I will say it is documented that sometimes even the kings utilize the eunuchs as for sexual pleasures. So for all these individuals out here talking about this is new, it's not. Nothing under the sun is new. And I need people to start being more educated because they were in the Bible. Come on. Anyway, little nugget. Anyways, so I'm glad to hear. We're gonna delve a little bit deeper in your story, but I do want to hear from you, Darnell. Like, when did you know that you were interested in men, and how did that come about? And what did you do? So
my story starts a little younger than a lot of gay individuals.
Okay.
Gay men in particular. I was about 7 years old.
Okay.
We were sitting Indian style during recess or something like that. And there was another student in front of me that was in my class. And we sat Indian style, like in a line or in a row.
Okay.
Kind of deal. And I just remember looking down and seeing his underwear or whatever. And I grabbed it. And you grab the underwear and it pops back. And that is what I would say is my earliest documentation of, gay things. But my family identified it at a very young age.
Okay.
I was maybe about 3 or 4 where they were like, hey, Darnell's a little different from the other kids.
Right.
And at the time, there weren't a lot of kids because I'm the second oldest of like 26. But I was still different from 26 grandchildren.
Oh, okay.
Yes, 26 grandchildren.
I was like, wait a minute.
Nah, my mama, she be throwing that thing, but she don't be throwing it like that.
I'm about to say, is this popping that thing? Swoop that thing up.
Right, exactly. But second born of 26 grandchildren. But they identified it at a younger age.
Okay.
And it wasn't until I turned 14, and I just remember that summer of transitioning from my freshman year of high school to my sophomore year of high school was like the best summer ever for me in school.
Okay.
My life got better after I came out of the closet. Prior to coming out the closet in elementary school, middle school, and the first year of high school, I was called all types of names in the book. I was called gay, faggot, this, that, and the other. Even when they heard the word, transvestite, I was being called a transvestite. I didn't know what the hell a transvestite was at 7th and 8th grade.
Right.
I just knew gay was, a man liking a man. I didn't even think about 2 women. I just figured gay was a man liking a man. That's what they called me or whatever. But it wasn't until, like I said, I got to high school and I finally came out and my life blossomed. I mean, and you can probably attest to this, it was like a rebirth for me. And the things that affected me and hurted me and really wanted me to even harm myself back then, it didn't affect me anymore. It was like, yeah, I'm gay. That was last year's joke. What's this year's joke?
Right.
Because I still have a 4.0. I'm still in multiple sports. I still do this. I still do that. Like, it's no different. Now I'm accepting of it, and you all are running around saying it, but not truly knowing what it meant. So I came out at a very, very, very young age, and it allowed me to be able to be the man that I am today. It allowed me to help other individuals that are struggling, either still in the closet or struggling to come out of the closet, or individuals that are out of the closet and don't necessarily know how to navigate things, more specifically on the healthcare side of things. So being a healthcare provider, in the LGBT community, and being very open and being very gay at sometimes.
Very gay.
Very gay.
Come on.
I connect with my patients in a way that I've never had a provider connect with me, in a way that I've never heard or seen other patients being able to connect with their doctor, their nurse practitioner, whomever is on the healthcare staff. And, because, like I said, because I came out so young, I've had all these years of experience, dealing with the houses, dealing with the clubs. I never really dealt with a lot of the negative things that you hear when you think about the LGBTQ community. Fortunately, a lot of those, I did not have experience with a lot of those things. I mean, even to this day, people tell me some stuff that people do, and I'm just like, wow, they do that for real? And it's just like, yeah, that's kind of the norm. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I've been there, done that.
Okay.
And so, doing a lot of the extra gay stuff and, things like that, it's all fun and cool and everything. But I did all of that basically before I turned 18.
Okay.
So, I was in the clubs, I partied, I was in the houses, I vogued, I dipped, I got J set, I did everything. Right. I did everything. But it was, I honestly believe it was all just a part of me growing up and navigating, what it is to be a gay Black man. And now here we are today, at 36. And it's like a lot of people look up to me, and I'm just like, why?
Because you're you and you stand in your truth. And there are so many people out here not standing in their truth, which brings me to my next question. So I know that you're married, but I do want to ask you, as a trans woman, how do you date? How do you pick the individuals that you're going to court? Sometimes with men who are not all the way completely out of the closet, that could become a dangerous situation. So how do you usually do courtship?
I'm still learning.
Okay.
So in my experience, I've noticed a lot of guys not wanting to date. They're always sexually driven.
Okay.
So I do see that as a trend, and it makes it kind of hard to date. However, I try not to hold myself back and still try to give people the benefit of the doubt. But so far, I haven't gotten that far. So to be continued.
Okay. Now, I'm going to say, just as a dating as a whole, even dating, because I date men too.
It's ghetto.
It's as AF. But I still love y'all. Y'all get on my nerves, but I still love y'all. And a piece of advice that I would give you is take everything for face value.
Yeah.
If they say X, Y, and Z, that's exactly what they mean. And for me, because I watch documentaries and all kinds of weird shit, my advice for you is, if you're going to be out here dating, I would never date someone who is still in the closet with their family, because we all know how that could go.
I definitely don't.
And I want you to be safe. My prayers are all, with you in this dating journey, child, because it's ratchet. I mean, I be having fun, but it's ratchet. So that's that. So I whatever you decide you want to do, I hope it all works out. But I know that dating is difficult, and just picking because of everything, you need to be a little more careful in what you do. Anyway, so we're going to talk about support. I heard someone say the other day that the person that you are now is the person that you needed when you were growing up.
Oh, yes.
Okay. I heard that from somebody on TikTok. If I figure out who I heard this from, I'm going to give you credit. Don't be trying to get me for plagiarism. But I just want to know, what kind of support, Darnell specifically? First of all, before we get to support, did your family is your first gatekeeper.
Yes.
How supportive was your family in your journey?
So we can start with my parents, and then we can just trickle down from there.
All right.
So my mom was just totally against it.
Okay.
and no son of mine is going to be gay, and no son of mine is going to this, that, and the third. And I was like, well,
Okay, sis.
whatever. And my stepdad was just kind of like, well, whatever. I mean, y'all always known, so why are you acting surprised now? That was something that I heard him say to her one night.
Right.
And from that point forward, and, you know, I don't think he ever knew that I heard that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But from that point forward, I knew that I had him on my side.
Right.
I have an older brother. We're 13 months apart. He was just like, well, whatever. You my brother. I still love you. I'm still going to protect you, which he, in fact, still continues to protect me to this day.
As he should.
Absolutely. My aunts... It had finally come out at that time. Oh, so you was the one in my makeup and my clothing and my hair and in my shoes and in this and in that. And when that part, I was just like, oh my God, thank you so much. Like, this is what I needed. Like, and it's what I love and I appreciate. And they were just there, you know, no matter what. Like, if I get into it with my mom, I jump in my car and I leave and I go over to my aunt's house.
Right.
My aunt Luigi, my aunt Ricky, like, they had my back. They did hair growing up. They had this one transgender friend named Katana. And every time Katana used to be, I used to be a Katana face like, oh my God, I don't know who you are or what you are, but I love you so. And I was like 6, 7 years old in Katana face.
Wow. Shout out to aunties and Katana.
Right. And then it came to my grandmother. And when I came out to her, surprisingly, we were out shopping for Easter. And, you know, she wanted a new hat and da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, Grandma, I got something I got to tell you. And she was like, what? I was like, I'm gay. And she was like, I know.
Granny know.
She was like, so we shopping for suits, or we shopping for dresses, or we shopping for hats
Granny.
today. And though I never thought and looked at myself as trans or anything like that, but just her saying that in a jokingly way let me know that, hey,
Be you.
my support system is going to start with my grandma. And even to this day, with all she's dealing with, that's still like my number one cheerleader. And I'm her number one cheerleader. And so just having that type of support system on the home front was very important. Now at school.
First of all, hold on. Before we go to school, Granny said, we all knew you was in the closet. We was just waiting on you to come out.
The closet was glass.
Come on.
It was a glass. It was a glass door. It was glass walls.
It was
everything.
a bougie glass walk through and see through closet. Anywho, back to the school scene.
Yes. On the school side, I cheered in high school and college.
Okay.
So of course, the whole squad knew.
Yeah.
I played in the marching band. The entire marching band knew. That was my support system. My friends, and a lot of those friends, one in particular, we're not as close. We don't even talk. We're not even best friends anymore. Like, we hadn't talked in years, but Mallory was like that bitch for me. Can I say bitch?
Yes.
Okay, because you had gays on the show and trans on the show. You gotta let us say bitch.
Because this a cussing show.
Right. But Mallory was my bitch. That was my road dog. That was my go-to. She sat right here in homeroom. I sat right behind her because, you know, our names were just that close together or whatever. And no matter what happened, my bitch always had my left and my right, and always had her left and her right. And unfortunately, we're not friends to this day. But I still have another friend, Jessica. And Jessica and I have been friends almost 30 years.
Oh, yes.
Since elementary school.
Yes.
And she continues to be a very strong support system for me. Now, those are friends.
Right.
I was only one of maybe 5 or 6 out individuals in high school. Well, out males. Because my school was known as the lesbian school, so all the girls was gay.
Okay.
All the girls was gay.
The girls.
They was...
KK.
They was like pillow lesbians or however.
Oh.
They weren't really gay.
Pillow princesses.
They was pillow princesses, right. See, and I ain't even hip to all the terminology. So that's why you use like LGBTQ. I was like, did you got it? Because I don't do that. LGBTQ.
Yeah.
I thought we was going to go to QTIAP and then the other.
See, I can't give you all that one.
I can't either.
Yeah,
like, and they come to pronouns. I just be like, what would you like for me to call you?
Exactly. And that is, I think, the correct way to, you know, because you
I don't want to misgender people. And I work in a trans clinic.
And you know,
I be misgendering like a mother.
I don't want to misgender nobody either because I got a deep voice and somebody already done mistaken me as a man. So I'm a lady. So listen.
Being willing to even ask somebody and care, that shows that you're trying.
Yes, that is support. That is support. And did you know it used to be GLBTQ or something?
Yeah, it was LBGTQ.
Yeah.
LBGTQ.
How do y'all feel about Dave Chappelle?
What, something happened?
Oh, okay. I was just making sure because I still love Dave Chappelle. No, he call it the alphabet people. Some of the,
But that's what
comedian.
He gets paid to do a job.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
comedy.
okay.
I get paid to do a job. I get paid to put on heels and a wig and keep my beard and not have on no makeup and sing Beyonce.
When you do that?
Not lip sync, but sing Beyonce. I get paid to do stuff like that. So I get paid.
So,
You be at Lips.
No, I be in my own shit. I be in my restaurant.
Oh, really?
wow.
I do drag shows in my restaurant, and it's like
can we get an invite?
absolutely.
real?
That's what we gonna do.
Oh, you gonna do Drunken Love? Oh, that's right.
Can I be drunk first?
Okay. I'm sorry. We deviate.
but yeah. So it's like, I mean, entertainers get paid to entertain,
Right.
Mama Medea once said, "It's not what people call you; it's what you answer to."
That's very true.
I don't answer to faggot. I don't answer to what other derogatory words?
Right.
Like fag,
Booty bandit.
booty band. I might answer to that. The fuck? I might answer to booty bandit. You never know.
Hello.
Listen, don't let this bravado fool you. Because I be doing the bending sometimes. This what you wanted? Is this what you wanted?
It is. We're gonna get
Right. I told you, don't let don't let the alphabet behind my name and the white coat and the studiousness and all of that. And I know how to speak very well. I understand that. But you gotta remember, I'm from down the street. I'm from East Atlanta Zone 6.
Well, come on,
All day,
Zone
every day.
6. Let me ask you.
Glenwood.
Well, let me ask you. So you said are you usually the bottom or the top? Is that too much to ask?
Baby, she is ready. She want the info.
So which answer do you want?
Both of them.
Whoever water wearing Cliff first.
Oh, okay. I like that. But wait a minute.
Whoever water wearing clear, listen. We ain't got two bathrooms in the house for nothing.
I mean, do y'all prepare or nobody wants to get painted? Yeah, I heard that was a thing. Okay.
So, but my preference actually has evolved over the years.
Okay.
I think anyone that started off as young as I did was a bottom.
Okay.
Coming up. And then when I got out of my bottom phase, I joined the military at 17. So
you was ready to clap.
I was, I had built on a lot of muscle. I had, beard, all of that. Voice was deeper. And so, I was like, okay, well, now it's my top season. And then, start dating in relationships. Nobody wants an exclusive top or an exclusive bottom. Okay, I'm going to be versatile.
Okay.
And I met my husband and I was like, I'm a burst top. And then we divorced. And now it's just like, I'm a bottom and I love it.
Okay. Let me ask y'all.
Yes.
So there is a new thing that I heard about. So there is a genre of women. I talked about this on one of my previous shows. There's a genre of women now that date bisexual men or male couples. Have y'all ever gotten into that?
I haven't gotten into it, but I've had a lot of those same type couples actually approach me.
Okay, what about you? Come on, tell the story. I know your ass done did a little razzle dazzle. What you done did?
Oh, you something something else. Oh my God.
mean,
have you and your husband ever been with a woman?
no, we have not.
Oh, okay.
We came like this close and then she ended up pregnant. I was like, ooh, I knew it.
Pregnant. Ooh, y'all
Like
finna
she
be
like
daddy.
literally we had things set up and she was like, babe, I ain't gonna be able to do it. She said, I just found out I'm pregnant.
You was gonna
I'm
be
like, bitch,
Uncle
you
Daddy.
pregnant. And she was like, yeah. So that was one, very close encounter that we almost had.
Okay.
And everything. But even, I don't know if you noticed it or even if the camera picked it up, but when she identified as trans and I said, I'm gay, I had a little twinge in my eye. Though I fully identify as gay.
Right.
And I'll be the first person to tell you, no matter how much pussy I eat, no matter how much pussy I fuck, I am still gay. Okay. Eating pussy and fucking pussy does not make me bisexual by any means. Okay. It's just...
You could do it.
I can do it, and I've done it. I mean, and there's, one partner in particular, but I mean, because she be like, what does this, what did this make us? Bitch, it makes us fuck buddies.
Exactly.
Like, bitch, we sister wives. Like, we bumping pussies. Like,
yeah.
I do have a question now, Tanya. I'm gonna ask because I know the people want to know.
I feel like I know what she about to ask.
We all do.
So I know you got the titties. I know you got the booty. Do you still have your third leg?
Oh, I use her.
Period.
You did, huh?
I use her.
Period.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So wait a minute. So
she's still a lady, but I still use her.
Okay, so but you've never had sex with a woman, is that
Technically, no.
Okay.
But actually, I guess you can say yes. So I've been with trans men.
Okay.
So it's technically yes, but no, because they don't identify as females.
Oh, okay. See, I just had to ask. I know y'all nosy asses want to know.
So now, so for her to educate the public, how can someone ask about, because we have our technical term that we use on the healthcare side of things, and it's called bottom surgery.
Okay.
Right.
Which I don't like the term bottom surgery because being a bottom, I'm like, bitch, I hadn't had surgery, but y'all ain't talking about me. But so what is the proper way? Because I know as a healthcare practitioner, I constantly ask patients, and I know people see the chef's code and hear me talk about, the nursing world. I have a clinic and I have a restaurant, and a lot of people look at that and I'm like, but how? Because I am who I am. My husband is a chef. I don't cook. This say chef husband. Hello. That just mean I just be there and I collect the checks and I drink and bullshit
I love
when I get off work. But on the healthcare side of things, we ask patients, hey, have you had bottom surgery? No. Are you interested in having bottom surgery? No. If yes, then why haven't you had it? And if no, then why not? And, just different things like that. And for us, it's important because does a trans man still require gynecological services? Yes.
No, I did not know that.
Does a trans woman, right? Does a trans woman eventually need gynecological services? Potentially. Depends on what type of surgery, what type of bottom surgery you've had. Okay. Are you inverted, exverted, or things like that. And, if you still continue to utilize your lady stick.
Yes, lady stick.
I know the terms. If you still choose to utilize your lady stick, that's very important for us to know on the healthcare side of things, so that when it comes to like testing and things like that, because whether you identify as a man, woman, born male, female, or anything, you're going to get swabbed.
Right.
You come to my clinic, you're going to get swabbed because there's a lot of different things that we're testing for. Right. And as we're learning more and developing more data when it comes to trans individuals, we need to be able to test, because there's going to be different things that are going to happen, because we know how hormones can affect people, but how do they affect, a trans woman? Right. Versus how do they affect a trans man?
I've seen a trans vagina. It kind of looked like a pocket pussy a little bit. The one that I saw, maybe they didn't do it right.
Where they get their surgery done then?
I have no idea.
Was it in Mexico? They drive across the border?
Probably. Don't drive across the border.
Don't drive across the border. They better come pick you up.
They better come get you.
The recovery house better pick you up.
You better go drive. You better fly. You better fly.
Right, and don't fly Spirit.
So can they still get an STD in that little pocket thing? Like, because it's a pocket.
You can get an STD in a soma.
Okay.
We've swapped.
I've seen people have sex in stomas now.
Stoma. Yes, we've swapped stomas before. Yes. So if it got a hole, it can catch an STD.
Okay. Well.
Yes.
Y'all be careful with your new cooch. Okay.
Well, we ain't got to worry about
don't
that
let
over here.
Don't let. Be careful with your new cooch, honey.
Yeah. I'm gonna stick to what I got over here.
And listen, so have you ever thought about, or do you want to keep yours?
That's a good question, because I do want to keep that, because honestly, in my opinion, personally, any male who is attracted to trans females that I've come in contact with,
they want you to have
that. So if you get rid of that, you're taking away what makes you unique, and you're not fully woman, so you can't carry a child or anything. Right. So it's like you really put yourself in a box to where a man does not see you as a complete woman, but he still sees you as not, a man either. So it's kind of like you're putting yourself in a box to where you're limiting yourself. So there was a period where I did not want that, but I do realize that I will kind of take away what makes me unique.
So are you like Darnell? Like, are you versatile in the positions?
I am.
Oh, okay.
I said I was a bottom. I did not say I was versatile.
Oh, you told me. Okay.
Now, I used to be a bottom up until I transitioned.
Okay, so you're a top now.
That's weird. No, I'm not a top. But when you actually are on hormones and you have something that's modifying the way you think about things, you really do change.
Okay.
And I'm attracted to a completely different set of things that I used to. Things that I never would have come in contact with are things that I actually crave, things that I love. So it's like my whole way of thinking about things, my mindset, everything has changed.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay. I'm so, I ain't gonna lie, I'm like visualizing. Sorry. I'm visualizing stuff in my head like, wow, okay.
Yeah. A lot of people don't realize, what transitioning is. People just say, oh, she want to be a girl or he want to be a girl. That's not.
So you do like estrogen supplements or?
Yeah, I do injections. And I used to be on spironolactone, which is testosterone blocker, but it does make it to where you really don't function properly because you're blocking testosterone.
Right.
And I just got out of a relationship with somebody who wanted me to have a little testosterone, if you know what I mean. So I stopped taking it, and I kind of feel like I'm getting a little hard, like my voice and my hair is growing a little bit. But it comes with the territory, so to speak. I know what I'm doing, so, but it's a process.
Okay. One last thing that I saw. This is just random, completely off subject. So in my research, because I wanted to make sure I was politically correct, and I don't want to disrespect you guys. And so I was watching something on YouTube. Did you know that there's like a polygraph penis test to tell you whether or not you're gay? Have y'all heard of that?
What?
Let me tell y'all real quick, and then we're gonna be.
I'm gonna tell you what my assessment is. And somebody said this stupid thing years and years ago. I wasn't even an adult yet when I heard this, but you say yours, and I'm gonna tell you mine.
Let me tell y'all. So they had a little thing. It's like a little string thing, and they wrap it around your penis, right? And they put you in front of porn. So they put gay male porn. They put female lesbian porn, then they put heterosexual, and they monitor like what happens, like what arouses you, like what makes the penis swell and that. And that's how they determine whether or not you're gay. Wow. So they did it for a male. It's literally a penis polygraph test. Now I forgot what the hell the thing's called, but I may put the link for it in the bio.
I don't really think that that's a good test.
It's not.
I just don't really feel, because if you put sex in front of anybody, they're going to react.
Well, for him, the lesbian, his erection kind of went down. And then the other thing about it is, I have a friend who did sex ed for prisoners who had been molested in prison. And the thing about that is, when they were being raped, they developed erections. Now, that more so was probably because the prostate is being stimulated. They was massaging
that prostate, baby. That's what I'm about.
Right. That's why. And so that had to be... I forgot my.
I ain't got no poof, y'all. I mean, you brought the wrong person on your show, because I'm with the shits, and I'm gonna keep it 100.
That made me
no cap. Like, I'm gonna keep it 100.
No, but so when you go to reflect,
but does that mean that when a cis woman is sexually assaulted and she orgasms,
right? That's what I was saying. It doesn't mean that they're enjoying it.
Exactly.
It does not mean that they're. So it kind of, that test is sort of skewed, except for it is not coerced erections or coerced vaginal lubrication or orgasms. It's not coerced, so it's almost like a 50-50. I think more has to be done as far as studies is concerned, but I just thought that was so funny. I was like, oh shit, they got a a thing to tell whether or not you're gay. But anywho,
You know my.
I'm ready. I'm sorry. Can we go over a little bit?
You said what?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So, if
Don't say it.
the middle toe is bigger than the second toe, then they might be gay.
Okay.
And I heard this like years ago, and every single time I be out, especially at like gay clubs and stuff or bars or whatever, and men have their feet out.
Check
like
your
I don't even
toes.
have a foot fetish. I hate feet. I don't even know how I made it as a nurse all these years. I hate feet. I hate slob. I hate throw up.
slob.
Right. I detest slob. But blood,
And boo boo, I could do it.
no, I can't do boo boo either.
I could do boo boo.
I can do blood. But because I worked in the OR and, it was just like, well, whatever, keep going.
Right.
But looking at their foot, if the middle toe is longer than the second toe from the big toe, then they're gay. Wow. That sounds so crazy and stupid, but the data proves it.
What data?
The data when I be looking down at that feet, and I be like, oh yeah, you a homosexual.
It's the gator.
The gator, right.
The gay data. The gay data. Okay, well, we definitely gonna look into that.
You just got to make the men take their shoes off.
Ladies, if you live in Atlanta, you better make them take their goddamn shoes off. That middle toe is
Take your shoes off, nigga.
take them shoes off.
And especially if they smoke hookah.
If they smoke hookah.
Oh, it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
Come on.
I think I did hookah maybe once or twice. But let me tell you what really stopped me with hookah. It was a case of herpes breakout.
Ooh,
Did y'all hear about that?
Yeah.
Of course.
Completely done. Ain't no way, boy.
Specialty is
Ain't no way.
infectious disease, so we see it.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And you deal with a lot of people. So does your clinic deal with HIV patients? And
Yeah, so we're an LGBTQIA plus clinic by the name of Someone Cares.
Okay.
We provide free services to the LGBTQIA plus community, and we also accept insurance and things like that. But we just want to be a beacon in the community for our gay, lesbian, trans, and plus.
Okay. But so we're going to segue back into this. But before we start, I just want to tell on myself just a little bit. So I was gay for like 2 hours.
2 hours.
And I know the LGBTQ community really hate people like me because we're like, oh, maybe I need to dive in a lady pond for a little bit. But let me tell you what happened. So I was watching The Woman King, and shout out to Viola Davis. But I think the star of the show or the star of the movie was, what was her name? Igusi? This girl. When I tell you, sis had me rethinking my whole life the whole time. I was like, this motherfucker is pretty. Them teeth was pretty. She was walking like this. I was like, and she asked me to be her boo. I'm going to do it. Okay. Anyways, I told her myself, I'm a little shamed, but I ain't shamed. But call me if you see this. Okay. All right. So we're going to get back into things. And we have some individuals here who are actually want to ask you guys some questions as well. So whenever they're ready to, interject and ask some questions, we'll go ahead and let them ask their questions. But I do want to ask you this. So I know a lot of people, like I've known individuals who have told stories about being beaten into an oblivion because they were gay. Recently, maybe in the last year or two, there was a video that surfaced on the internet, and I think the parents actually went to jail. They beat the little boy on the video.
Yes.
Because he was gay, Stories like that happen all the time. And I hate to, bring this sinister kind of stuff up, but it could possibly help someone. Have you all ever been in any situations like that?
So recently, probably within the past 2 months, I actually was working over a block away at Gold's Plastic Surgery. And I was leaving work, and this guy was harassing me, calling me faggot and a bunch of other slurs. And I did argue back with him, but I didn't realize that this was a crazy person. He pulled out a gun and he shot at me in my car. And he told me he would beat my faggot ass. And it was just, I've been called gay. I've been called a lot of things growing up, but I've never physically had hate to where someone would shoot a gun at me, and to actually see a bullet hole in my car door. it was kind of like a wake-up call. You can't argue with everybody. You can't, there are people who don't understand, and people are afraid of what they don't understand. I'll try my best to educate them, but if I can't, I will move on. But it's a lot of hate in the world. Some people are still in that place, and all I can do is my best to educate them.
Wow. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. And on behalf of whatever community that fool came from,
ma'am.
I apologize to you for them, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
What about you, Darnell?
So as far as a lot of things that we hear that happen to gay individuals, fortunately for me, that's never really happened. I'm 6'2" and 245 pounds.
Who gonna check me, boo?
And, I grew up in the military my entire adult life. And I'm not saying that keeps me safe from anything happening, but it'll make a motherfucker think twice.
Okay.
I will hope that not hope that I present masculine because, I can switch that shit off real quick. Okay, honey?
Okay.
Don't play. But I think that it has kept a lot of individuals away from trying me, so to say,
right,
because of my demeanor and because of my look and because I look like you don't want to fuck with that motherfucker.
Right.
Majority of the time, that's my facial expression usually. And I have butterflies and unicorns in my head thinking about,
right,
rainbows and stuff. But people be like, ooh, you look mean. And so because of that, I think that does keep a lot away from me. And I carry. And I post a lot about carrying because I believe that, it is very important for African Americans to know how to carry, know how to handle a weapon, know how to shoot a weapon, know how to clean your weapon after you've shot it at the range. But I'm an advocate for exercising our Second Amendment rights. And a lot of people know that. And a lot of people know I spent time in the military. So they're just and a lot of people know I get a check. And I get that PTSD 100% service connected.
Come on.
Thank you.
$5.
With all of that, they're just like, nah, that's the motherfucker we don't really want to fuck with. And I've never really experienced that. Now I have friends that have unfortunately experienced it, not only from the outside, but from family as well too. And, and I sympathize with them and things like that. And I've always been the type of gay male that's kind of we about to go whoop their ass.
Hello.
Right.
And that's with my sisters. That's with my best friends. That's with my mama, especially my mama. I almost got to fight, bent over in pain in the hospital, having a kidney stone. Somebody called my mama a bitch, and that was the last bitch she was probably gonna call somebody because
that one.
I don't know where it came from, but yeah.
Now on the Prostesheia Please show, we do not condone violence.
No,
and that's it.
Violence condoned.
Sometimes,
but, you got to protect yourself.
You do. You absolutely do.
I always believe in that. Right. And and I know we haven't even spoke about our military careers, but I know that you are trained the same way I'm trained.
Yes.
Both of you all are military vets. Well, thank you guys for your service. What branch?
That's our huge connection, actually.
Really?
That makes this whole interview so special to me, actually.
Well, please do not let the hormones fool you.
Come on.
Don't let it.
At the end of the day, I'm still a nigga, bro.
Right.
Now, why you gonna take your voice down like that? Don't do that.
He's still
trained to kill.
He's still in
Always
there.
say submission first. Remember the warrior ethos. I am an American soldier. I'm a warrior and member of a team. Don't get that shit twisted.
I know that's right.
Like, that might be some hool stuff. Y'all might think that bravado, but
I'm gonna whoop some ass and take some names.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any questions?
Actually, I do. I would like to know, what would you like to see implemented now in society to avoid the incident that you occurred up the block?
That's a tough one because I know they really don't care about trans people. But this thing in Tennessee where they're blocking people from doing drag and things like that, I get it. The way that they present it is to protect the children, but it's really a cover-up because they're trying to get rid of trans people, and they're saying it's a trans agenda. I want them to just stop. Like, I want them to understand that people are people and they just want to live. Nobody is trying to destroy the children. Yes, it's okay to keep it in bars or whatever, but you can't change a trans person.
You can't.
I would really love for them to lay off of it, because I shouldn't have to take Tennessee off of my places to visit just because they don't like people like me who pay taxes.
Well, this is the Deep South, and where we know that racism and homophobia is a huge thing that is grilled down into Anglo-Saxon Christianity. So their whole... Here is the thing for me, because I grew up in a church, so I'm not bashing the church or anything. I grew up in a church, and I just recently started going back to church, and no, the church didn't catch on fire. But the thing about it is, I grew up there, so I know the ideologies about how they think. And one of the things that gets me is, a lot of the times they scream homosexuality, and of course they do talk about being gay and all this stuff, but they don't talk about the other things in the Bible that are forbidden.
Right.
The mixing of fabrics, eating crabs.
But let's not even go there. They don't want to talk about the drug addicts are in the church. They don't want to talk about the alcoholics in church.
The rapists in church.
And they damn show don't want to talk about the whoremongers that they have in the church.
Yes.
And the people, that are cheating on their spouses in the church all the way down to the pulpit. They don't want to talk about that.
I was molested by my pastor.
Yes, I know. That story is very prevalent for a lot of people, unfortunately. And some of the people who are pedophiles are still praised to this day. James Cleveland, I think that was his name. He was not only raping boys in the choir, but he was giving them HIV. And we still sing his music and, give him all these accolades. And when in reality, he was a bit of a monster. You're purposely giving people diseases and you're having sex with children. Correct. So, for whatever reason, I will never understand it. But a lot of times in the church, pedophiles, and I know this is a tad bit off track, but pedophiles are often can hide in the church because under the decorum of forgiveness, or keep things under wrap or keep things in the family. So anyways.
Unless you're gay.
Unless you are gay. Now, the thing that I don't like is they utilize gay men a lot of times when they're during singing, and as long as the gay men are bringing in the dollars, because the songs and the praises and whatnot bring in so gayness is okay if it's helping to bring in the coins. And I understand. So the caveat to that also is, for me, one thing that I saw, and don't get mad, but for some people, I kind of question, I'm like, well, why would you even practice a religion that forbids your life? Because for me, of course, being in the church, I done some things. I done been what do you call it? A
Jezebel. You was a Jezebel.
I was a bit of a Jezebel, honey. They done preached on me.
No bit. Wasn't living your truth, sis.
A little razzle dazzle, I was doing a little razzle dazzle in these streets. But I get preached on. If you're a liar, you get preached on. If you're a thief, you get preached on. I think sometimes I saw something where they were upset because the Pope wouldn't marry him. But my thing behind that is, of course, this is one of the doctrines that they say you can't do. So I would practice something completely different if I had to fight so hard to be accepted. That's just my take. Don't kill me. Okay? That's just me. But I wouldn't necessarily stop it because they preached on me, because I know I shouldn't be doing the shit I do.
But that's the purpose of... From my perspective, the purpose of church is to bring in the sinner.
The sick. Yes.
The sick. And when you shun those particular people away, then obviously you're left with a perfect church. And everyone in that church is perfect.
Exactly.
Of perfection. But the church is a place of healing. And so therefore you should accept, if you feel like gays are sinning or what they're doing is wrong, then you should openly accept gays into your church with open arms, the same way you would do a deadbeat father that comes only on Father's Day and then want to go down to benediction, put his heads up and run all around the church and stuff.
Right.
And then we don't see him for the next, 364 Sundays.
Right. Now,
well, not 364.
Now,
Sundays, but the next however many damn weeks it is in the damn year.
Right.
But you don't see them until the next
year or
Father's Day.
whenever.
And you're doing the
5
same
years.
show and dance. So
Right.
it's like,
Now, I don't see
again?
per se, I don't see them saying you can't come, you can't come. The only thing that I saw was when they were saying, when the Pope was saying that he didn't want to marry them. I could understand that because that is a part of whatever doctrine that he follows. So I could understand that. So I think that was my only disconnect. Like, okay, this is their stuff. You can't come in their stuff and tell them how to
you
do.
just find somebody
Like,
that,
I can't come in and be like, listen, everybody pop that. So like, I can't go in there and tell them this is what we need to be doing. That's just my only disconnect. And I think the only other disconnect that I have is allowing trans men born as a woman compete. That's my only qualm with the entire, and I think that's a qualm that a lot of people have because of the physiological differences between men and women competing. So that's a whole nother story. But either way, I still got love for y'all. I hope that one day we all can have that Dr. King type of. Is that the? Oh, we gonna scratch that out.
what she said? No, because we had somebody say that she was gonna be the Dr. King.
LGBTQ.
What she say, Sydney?
Because
Sydney said that she was gonna be the Dr. King, that she the Dr. Kings for the trans or something like that.
oh, that's what she just said.
I know she didn't say that.
She said something along those lines. Or the correct no, she said she was the Rosa Parks or something.
Rosa Parks.
She said something like that. Sydney.
Well.
I think was it Sydney Star?
I'm trying to hold on. Why would she say that?
One of our trans sisters, I can't remember who it was. They either said that they were the Dr. King of the trans movement or the Rosa Parks. Somewhere along those lines.
I mean, but that's good and it's needed.
But they're not.
Oh,
I guess.
And that's the T.
come on, T.
I ain't gonna talk down on my trans sister.
I'm talking down on the trans, but it's like.
But I guess I don't know about Rosa.
Well, I done had my gay moment. I don't know if I ever return to it. I appreciate y'all living in y'all truth.
Hey man,
I might be gay.
No, you might have
I might be a pillow princess.
So
pillow princess.
so can we let's have a conversation around gay versus straight.
Okay.
It's a spectrum.
Okay.
I believe it's a spectrum. And I got a huge gay spectrum in me. I mean, because I take the whole rainbow.
You gonna taste the rainbow. Oh Lord, this has been a very interesting conversation, and we're gonna wrap it up for tonight. I appreciate you guys tuning in to Prosteshetia Please.